sound means it's time for the GOAT Fantasy Football Podcast with your host, Jim Neander. So it's Thursday here. Week 7 is upon us. Thursday night football tonight. A lot of games going down this week. So listen, I just want to start off by saying if you didn't check out last night's episode, I know it got released late. Go back and check it out. It was really fun. I did kind of a wild card episode. We titled it 6 Lists of 6 through Week 6. And, had a little fun with that. So definitely make it a point to check that one out. It's not necessarily, to prep you for this week, but it does give you a little prep for the rest of the season. Gives you some of my projections on some of these players and their outlook going forward. So, listen, without further ado, we're going to jump right into the Week 7 matchup, starts and sits, all the information that you want, and not too much extra fluff. That's what we do here. So, let's see. Thursday night football, we got the Giants facing the Eagles. I'm going to have to stop this because I feel like it's not even recording, and that's not good, right? Delete. Okay, I did record. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna start over anyway. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the GOAT Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Neander. Thursday morning here on the East Coast. And getting ready for Thursday night football. We got the G-Men and Eagles tonight. We got some players rolling tonight. So we got some skin in the game. We're ready to rock. Before we get going with the Week 7 matchups, though, I do want to just say I really enjoyed the episode we put out last night. Kind of a wild card episode. We called it 6 Lists of 6 through Week 6. Just trying to have a little bit of fun on a Wednesday, and did some pretty fun things. So, if you get a chance to check out the episode. As always, as with all of our episodes, it's available on YouTube. You can also listen to it anywhere you listen to your podcast, whatever platform that happens to be. So, all right, so Week 7, man, lots of stuff going on. We got 4 teams on a bye. Who we got now playing this week? The Indianapolis Colts, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings, and the Baltimore Ravens. So yeah, absolutely, you got some players that you normally would have in your lineups that are off this week. Any and all of your Ravens, of course, Lamar Jackson at the forefront of this group of bye week players. But Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Jonathan Taylor. So you are missing some guys that you might be playing, and then of course with the Dolphins, he gets an extra week to prepare. But we are going to be talking about 2 at a time when we get to Week 8. But alas, he gets an extra week to prepare. We're not going to talk about him this week. So, got 7 matchups slated for today. We'll talk about the other 7 tomorrow, and we'll get to it then. So, all right. Obviously, first game on the docket here is going to be the Thursday night football game, the G-Men and the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Both these teams fighting hard for the division lead. The 1-5 G-Men, the 1-4-1 Eagles, both just a couple of games out, if that, of the division lead. So it's anybody's ball game in the wild NFC East. And I don't really want to call it wild. It's boring, but shit, we probably have a sub 500 team win a division, and that's always fun. All right, let's talk about who we're playing in this game. Not playing Daniel Jones. Hasn't looked good. Just isn't putting up the numbers. We know Philadelphia's front 7 can get after the quarterback. He will probably have a decent amount of rushing yards, right? We know his rushing work, can be pretty good, and that can hold you up there. Sorry, a little connection issue. But I'm not playing Daniel Jones this week. Devontae Freeman will be in lineups if I have him anywhere. He's going to get the work. He's getting the majority of the touches, whether it's on the ground and through the passing game. Hasn't been great, but it's volume game in a pretty shitty running back landscape right now. It's like Mad Maxian. So, you're definitely going to have Devontae Freeman out there. For receivers, with the injuries, we know Darius Slayton was questionable heading into tonight. I want to see if he had any more news on him so far. Well, it looks like he's off the injury report. So, if he's off the injury report, I'm going to have Darius Slayton in my lineup. And I know I'm not expecting much from Daniel Jones, but what I do expect is that he's going to try to get the ball in Slayton's hands. So that's probably the only pass catcher on the Giants I'd really be willing to play this week. Evan Ingram, we talked about it on the episode yesterday, but I just can't. I can't play Evan Ingram anymore. I can't do it in DFS. I can't do it anywhere. It doesn't even matter the targets, which is blasphemous for my tight end strategy typically. But yeah, just not going to go down that route with them again. I mean, I'm really just not going to do it. So, not going to wind up playing a lot of Giants. Really, just Devontae Freeman and Darius Slayton will probably be the only two that I want to have in my lineup. So. Let's talk about Philly here. Carson Wentz, sure, you can play him. I know it's been ugly, and the first couple weeks were really, really bad. But if we're being honest here, the Giants are middle of the pack as far as passing yards given up per game. They're a little bit worse than that as far as overall points given up per game. So, where are the G-men? Or are they a little bit better than that? I don't know. I can't read. I'm getting old. They're a little bit better than half the pack in points per game, about 25 points per game. So I do expect, even without a lot of weapons for Carson Wentz, for him to get it done. Like I said, he's been making lemonade from shit. Honestly, not lemons from shit. So have Carson Wentz out there. Play Boston Scott. I get it. Earlier in the year, you were hoping to have a couple of big games from him with Miles Sanders out. Now Sanders is out once again. But I do think you want to trust Boston Scott in this situation. The volume should be there. Game script should be fine. It should be at least a close game. They certainly won't be getting blown out, I can't imagine, in this game. So, I think you want to have Boston Scott out there in your lineup. Travis Fulgham, yeah, he's showing out. We know Alshon Jeffrey is still out. Zach Ertz is on IR. Dallas Goedert's still out. So the options are limited, and he's going to get his usage. Outside of that, I wouldn't really be quick to play Greg Ward or J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Deshaun Jackson. If he does play tonight, I'd probably still be holding off on him. Now, I do want to bring up a quick sleeper in this game, which is Richard Rodgers, a tight end for Philadelphia. As we know, Philly is, just really heavily targets the tight end position. Whether it's Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, the combination of both of them tend to have, over 10 targets a game to the position. And now with both of them out, Richard Rodgers kind of jumps into this role. And listen, it's an absolute roll of the dice here. He could be not involved in this offense, and then you'll have a shitty game, obviously. So if you put him in your lineup, just know that the variety of outcomes here is pretty large for Richard Rodgers. Now, I do want to say it's pretty large because it also is not out of the realm of possibility that you get 10 fucking targets for this guy, and that all of a sudden, tomorrow we're talking about the ridiculous monster game that Richard Rodgers has. So, if I was putting money on it, I wouldn't put it at a better than 25% chance that he has a big game, but the possibility's there. So just don't say I didn't say it, right? But I do expect Philly to win this game at home and play pretty well, and I think the Giants will keep it pretty close as well. So should be more fantasy points, I think, that people are kind of expecting here. Check what the over-under is. I forgot to look at that. And the over-under is 45, so it's a pretty modest over-under. Not that many expected points. Philly given 4.5 points, so about 25 points Vegas expects them to score. So, all right, let's move into the Sunday slate of games. I'm thankful that the NFL kind of balanced it out between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games. There's actually, I think, 4 games at 4 o'clock instead of 2. So that's great. 7 games at 1. It's a lot easier to fucking keep track of what's going on in 7 games than 9 games. I know it's only 2 more games, but it's a lot more shit going on. And then it also gives you more to look forward to at 4 o'clock. You got more to do. So bravo, NFL. Please don't give me 9 and 2 anymore. Whatever's going on with the schedule. I don't give a shit. These guys are pros. They can start at 4 o'clock. I mean, whatever. All right. Detroit Lions coming here to Atlanta to face the Falcons. The 2-3 Lions, 1-5 Falcons. Pretty high over-under here. 55-point over-under with a 2.5-point spread. Atlanta giving 2.5. It's been up and down, obviously, for the Falcons. Matt Ryan, as soon as he got Julio Jones back, numbers came back up, and that's kind of, what we were expecting here. The Lions haven't been very good. They're giving up 28.5 points per game. Let's look at the passing yards. How are they doing against quarterbacks here? They're in the middle of the pack against quarterbacks, but you can run on the Detroit Lions. So, let's start with the Detroit Lions. Are you going to play Matt Stafford? I talked about him in yesterday's episode about being pretty disappointing, and I am disappointed in Stafford, although this is a huge matchup, for him. Everyone playing against Atlanta, has been scoring points. I know Marvin Jones is questionable right now, but as long as he's got Galladay back, they're starting to get the running game going a little bit. He's finding Hockenson in the end zone. I'm good with playing Stafford this week. I don't love his prospects going forward, but I do think that it's possible to get into a little bit of a shootout here, and you want to be a part of that. So let's talk about the backfield. Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift, the big breakout for the rookie Swift this last week, but he did pretty much still share carries with Adrian Peterson, and I don't know that that's going to change. I do think he has a higher ceiling, especially with the receiving work. He's been pretty well involved in that throughout the season. Actually, the one thing he was involved in until last week. So in this game, I am playing DeAndre Swift. Again, you got to look at what's out there for running backs. Look at the injuries. Look at the bye weeks. You're probably playing DeAndre Swift, and I'm fine with that. I'd also be okay if you told me you had to play Adrian Peterson, and you don't care that his ceiling is probably 12 points, 13 points if he gets into the end zone. Then I'm also okay with that. But the fact is, you'll probably get 6.5 to 7.5 points out of Adrian Peterson this week. So if you need that in your lineup so bad, you can do that. But there's lots of pass catching backs. Duke Johnson, might score that many points, right? I probably wouldn't be playing AP, very, very low ceiling, but you can do that. But I do want to get DeAndre Swift in the lineup. Kenny Galladay's in your lineup. Don't overthink that. And then outside of that, I don't want to play other receivers here. Marvin Jones is questionable. Any week could be the week that Jones blows up. We all know that. It can happen any week, any year. But I'm not going to bet on it this week. And T.J. Hockenson would probably be in my lineup. If he's on my roster, he's in my top 12 tight ends this week. So I don't want to sit him unless you have a much better option. But I do think T.J. Hockenson will be involved in the game plan this week. I expect 5, targets or so, 5+ targets, and probably a red zone target or so. So I'll take that. And then for the Falcons, I'm playing my Falcons, right? Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, those 4, are locked and loaded into your lineup. Russell Gage is a little bit outside of my wide receiver 3 ranking, but could be used in a pinch. I just think he's not a great option. He's just, you never know, what he's going to do any given week. Well, you never know that with anybody, obviously, but I'm just saying what his level of involvement is going to be. And Hayden Hurst, quite frankly, it's the same thing with Hurst as it is with Hockenson. The fact is, if he's on your team, you're probably going to play him unless you have a much better option. Hayden Hurst will be, he's right at the cusp of tight end 1 for me this week in rankings. Like right there. That long, that touchdown last week was a nice play, nicely designed play, but the defense, just pretty much gave that to him. So I don't want to count on that a lot, but the fact of the matter is, if Hurst is on your team, more than likely you're going to play him. I'd play him over Dalton Schultz, and I'd play him over, Gesicki's not playing this week, but I would have played him over Gesicki. Some of those guys like that are on that tier for me. Jimmy Graham, I'd play him over Jimmy Graham this week. So, yeah, Hurst is probably in your lineup in a high-scoring game here. And that's okay. All right. Ooh, Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Cleveland Browns, who were brought back down to earth by the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. So we got the 1-4-1 Bengals, the 4-2 Browns, over under 50.5. Cleveland given 3. So, these defenses have not been very bad. They've had some bad games, but they're really not very bad defenses. And in Cleveland, I'm absolutely starting Kareem Hunt. And outside of that, I don't think there's any must-start players. Baker is really not near the top of my streamer list for this week, so I'm not recommending Baker Mayfield. It's just hard with OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Landry is, nursing the rib injury. And OBJ has just been, very inconsistent. He's had 1 great game, 1 pretty good game, and 3, bad games, 3 or 4 bad games that did not help your fantasy team. And, you want to say, oh, well, Bengals, it's a good matchup, but they haven't been that bad, against the pass. They're near the back half, but 252 yards. You have 26 points a game, so, not egregious by any means. And, I'm just not expecting huge things from the Bengals, from the Browns this week. Maybe 2 or 3 offensive touchdowns, and I'd expect Kareem Hunt to be responsible for 1, maybe 2 of those. So, not expecting much through the air. I get it. You might have to play OBJ if he is on your team, but I'd be looking elsewhere, honestly. It's a tough one to swallow, but there's a good amount of guys that'll be ranked above OBJ, and even in this game, I would play T. Higgins over Odell Beckham Jr. Now, Austin Hooper, you can play. Targets are going up. Production is there. Position is shitty. So, yeah, you can play Austin Hooper. That's totally fine. For the Bengals, I'm probably not playing Burrow, even though it's not the worst matchup. Like I said, they're at home. I'm just probably not playing Burrow this week. He's not too far down my streamer list, but he's a good 3 or 4 down there. So, not going to be rolling with Burrow this week. Joe Mixon also a little bit banged up. I don't know that I want to roll Mixon out there this week. I'm worried about it, man. I mean, he had the one bust out game, sure, but other than that, it really hasn't been very good. He didn't practice yesterday on Wednesday with the foot injury. Gio Bernard is always an okay substitute, right? He's not going to blow the game out of the water. He's not going to make these huge plays, but he's a pro and he's not going to fumble a game away, and he's going to get positive yardage when he needs it. So, the Bengals may not feel like they have to, put Mixon out there if he's not 100%. Why risk it? They're 1-4-1. He should be a part of your future. No reason to risk further injury right now. On the outside, okay, so yes, AJ Green came back in a big way this last week. Tons of targets and had a really nice game. I would still have him at my third wide receiver on this team that I would want to start. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and then A.J. Green. So that means I don't want to start A.J. Green, although he can be, and he might have another big game. But I'm going to go with the guys they've had involved basically every game in the last 4 or 5 games, and that's T. Higgins and then Tyler Boyd. I'd have T. Higgins as a low-end wide receiver 2 with high-end wide receiver 2 upside, and then I would have Tyler Boyd as a wide receiver 3. So that's how I'm rolling there. Not playing, any tight ends here. Drew Sample, the small sample that we got of Sample was not very good. Sorry for that. Yeah, that was pretty bad. All right, that's okay. All right, yeah, keeping it rolling here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ooh, this is a good game. 2 5-0 teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Both these teams playing really good football. You got, one of the best defenses in the league in Pittsburgh. You got the Titans just rolling right now. Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, they're just steamrolling people with their offense. They're killing it. Steelers are third in the league in scoring defense, 18.8. They are second in the league in rushing defense, 66 yards a game, and they are like number 7 or so, number 8 in passing defense. Not a lot of ways to beat the Steelers here. We'll see, the immovable object versus the, irresistible force. Which one wins this week? So we'll have to see. I'm not sure. Who am I playing in this game? Probably not playing Ben Roethlisberger on the road in a game that might get a little bit dragged down and dirty here. Over-under is 50.5, which I get, but I think you're going to look for 2 teams to run the ball and control the clock here. So I could be wrong, but we'll see. I'm going to play James Conner. He's getting the work, as long as he's relatively healthy. I don't know if he's ever fully healthy. If he's relatively healthy, you're going to have James Conner out there rolling around. Then on the outsides, this is the much bigger question for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. This is the $1 million question for fantasy owners with Steelers, wide receivers is, who you're playing, who you're not playing, how do you rank them right now, how do you rank them rest of season. So we have Deontay Johnson finally back in the lineup this week, looks healthy and ready to go. So I am going to rank them. Deontay Johnson 1, Chase Claypool 2, Juju Smith-Schuster 3, James Washington 4. But in reality, not playing Juju this week, which sucks, man. I've got shares of Juju, but I'm not playing him this week. I would absolutely be playing Deontay Johnson. It was, a light back injury. He probably could have played last week, but I think he'll be fine. We'll see. I hope he doesn't get hurt again. He's going to start developing that reputation for having trouble staying on the field. But I would have Deontay Johnson first, then Chase Claypool, and I'd be playing both of them. And I probably wouldn't be playing Juju unless you have to, unless it looks ugly. But there's a lot of guys out there. I'd be playing Cole Beasley over Juju Smith-Schuster. Without a doubt, for the guaranteed 6, targets or so. So yeah, that's who I'd be playing. Eric Ebron, he's fine for a dart throw for a touchdown, but his usage hasn't really been there. I'm not ready to trust Ebron in my starting lineup right now, so I'd skip over him. Now, moving over to the Tennessee Titans side of the ball here, who would I want to be playing? Ryan Tannehill, I'm worried about. I'm worried about just the lack of use this week. I think they're going to run. Whether it's successful or not, they're going to try to run. So, not playing Tannehill. I know he's been on fire. I know he's got A.J. Brown back. I know they're 5-0. I mean, I know. And I'm probably wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'll just eat it like I do whenever else I'm wrong. But not playing him. Derrick Henry, is in your lineup. Yeah, A.J. Brown's in your lineup. I said I don't love Tannehill. He's the main weapon. I'm going to have him out there. They're going to try to get him the ball. Not looking to play anybody else really. Adam Humphries, Corey Davis if he's all, COVID list. I'm not looking at playing Corey Davis. But Jonnu Smith, if he's back, which I do think he's going to be playing, of course he's going to be in your lineup. Anthony Firkser, who had a big week last week, no. I don't want to play him this week, whether or not Jonnu Smith is in the lineup. I don't know. I just have to see it again. Jonnu Smith is an amazing athlete. He really does a lot within this offense. And I wouldn't be willing to play, Firkser. I know he's a sleeper for some. I'm going to stay away from it, though. So, but Jonnu should be in your lineup if he plays. Let's look at the injury report here again. Let's see what they say about Jonnu. Limited participant in Wednesday's practice. He was already limited. He's going to be good to go. But let's just look for that full practice on Friday, and he'll be absolutely fine. So no problem there. Looking forward to that game. Probably the game of the week right there. Good stuff at 1 o'clock. All right, here. Another divisional game. That's not a divisional game before, but this is a divisional game. The Carolina Panthers going to the New Orleans Saints Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and they are going to be taking on the Saints here. 3-3 for the Panthers, 3-2 for the Saints. We have a 51-point over-under. Saints giving 7.5 points, which I think is a little rich. I don't think they've been playing that well, but so on the road, I'm probably staying away from Teddy Bridgewater. He's not going to be in my top 3 or 4 streamers by any means. He's going to be down there with Baker Mayfield and some guys like that. So not playing him. Yeah, Mike Davis, you're definitely playing. Of course you are. You get one more week at least without McCaffrey. He's involved. Wasn't a great week last week, but he's still the guy for right now, so you're playing Mike Davis. And I think you're playing both of the wide receivers. I do think you're playing DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. And again, I know it seems maybe, it might go against my theory that Bridgewater won't have a good week to say that both receivers could. But if they're not spreading the ball around that much, then both these receivers are going to get work, right? It's just that they're not throwing to 8, 9 different players and it's spreading around that much. So I do think you're going to have 7, 8 plus targets for both these receivers, and they're both going to be fine. Outside of that, I'm not even thinking about playing anybody else. Whether or not Curtis Samuel is healthy, I wouldn't be thinking about playing him. Ian Thomas, everyone else is off the board there. So I think you just play the 3 main guys. Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, get him in your lineup. Over to New Orleans, Drew Brees, and I talked about him yesterday also. They're probably going to have Mike Thomas back, so that might give Brees a little boost, just a little bump. And I would be fine with playing Brees this week. Just not thrilled about it. I think they're going to run the ball a lot and still dink and dunk, and I don't think that the addition of Michael Thomas is going to boost those offensive numbers that much. Getting Jared Cook, back also helps a little bit, but I just don't think that much. So, Drew Brees is basically right at the, corner of QB1 for me this week. But not, a must play by any means. There's some other guys out there you can throw in there. You're playing Kamara, Latavius Murray. We don't know week to week what the usage is, right? Could be, 5 carries, could be 15 carries. We know Kamara's going to get all the passing work. I would leave Latavius Murray on my bench this week. He's definitely a sleeper, as he is every week. But I'd leave Latavius Murray alone for this week. And then outside, of course, Michael Thomas, I'm sure, has been itching to get back on the field. So Michael Thomas is good to go. He's good to go in your lineup. If Michael Thomas plays, then I'm not going to play Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not going to play Pt1 Smith. Just stay away from all the other pass catchers if Michael Thomas is out there. If for some reason Michael Thomas is not going to be playing in this game, then I would definitely play Emmanuel Sanders would be my first choice with a, high-end wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside, expectations. And you can play Pt1 Smith as a flex play, as a guy that could get into the end zone or have a big play, not so much volume. But I think Thomas will be out there, so it's kind of a moot point. And then Jared Cook, as I said, should be back. And I think you can put him in your lineup as a touchdown-dependent tight end. You know, I think Breeze is going to try to get these weapons that are coming back this week involved. Michael Thomas, Jared Cook, I do think they're going to try to get them involved. So, look for that. I'd be looking to have these guys, in my lineup. So I do want to play Jared Cook this week. All right, let's move on. We got a couple of games left. Both these two games are going to be low over-unders. So I'm not sure how many guys we're going to have that we're definitely playing over here, but let's give it the old look-see here. We got the Buffalo Bills traveling to New York to take on the Jets. I guess they're actually traveling to New Jersey, if I'm being technically correct, but they are going to be taking on the Jets, the 0-6 lowly Jets. Buffalo coming off two rough losses. They played really good against the Chiefs last week after getting beaten the shit out of by Tennessee Titans the week before that. So this is hopefully a get-right game for the Bills. Their whole offense, everyone needs to kind of come back to life in this game. So yeah, I'm playing pretty much all my Bills passing weapons. I'm going to stay away from Singletary and Moss, but I'm playing Josh Allen, of course, playing Stephon Diggs, and I'm playing Cole Beasley. I really like Beasley in this game. I do think John Brown will be out there. Just don't know how effective he'll be. And Beasley just keeps getting not only good amount of volume, but some decent value targets as well near the red zone. So I like Cole Beasley here. So I'm playing those three guys: Allen, Diggs, Beasley. I'm going to stay away from Singletary. I'm going to stay away from Zach Moss. Now I get it with Singletary. You're telling me, Jim, how am I going to sit Devin Singletary? Who the fuck am I going to play? All right, if that's the situation, then fine. You got to play Singletary as your RB2. But if he's your flex, I think you find a receiver that can do better than Singletary this week. So, yeah, I'd play Cole Beasley over Devin Singletary in my flex in a PPR league if that were my choice. So, yeah, no tight ends yet for Buffalo making any headway. For the Jets, whether or not Sam Darnold is back, which I do believe Sam Darnold will play this week, the only person that you're playing is Jamison Crowder. Nobody else on the Jets lineup that is trustworthy enough to be in your starting lineup. Frank Gore has a very low ceiling, with a decent floor. Sure. You want to tell me you're playing Frank Gore, I'm okay with it. As long as, again, just like AP, you know that more than likely you're talking about somewhere between 6 and 8 points. That's it. That's like the most probable outcome. And it could be a little higher with a touchdown, but I wouldn't be counting on it against the Buffalo defense. It hasn't been great, but they're good enough to stop the Jets, I believe. And then, I'm not playing Brashad Perryman or any of the other guys on the outside here. Chris Herndon, you're way off the list. So it's just Jamison Crowder here. No matter who the quarterback is, that's the only play. Not a great game, but that's all right. We need my Bills to get right here, go back to 5-2, take control of this division. All right. This is funny. So I guess all the NFC East are playing each other to see if someone can get a win, right? I really want Washington to win this fucking game because the Washington football team is 1-5. They're hosting the 2-4 Dallas Cowboys, and I don't want to rag on the Cowboys. I know they're having tough luck. They lost a quarterback. Shitty, right? But just for how bad the division is, I want to see it get to like comical fucking levels. I really do. I don't want to be that asshole. But yeah, I want to watch shit burn. I want to watch, I used to watch Maury Povich and Jerry Springer, and I want to watch the fucking NFC East go up in flames. I want the division winner to be 5-11, honestly. So call me a hater. I don't care. It's funny. The shit is funny to me. So let's talk about who you're playing here, though. All right. So over under a 46. Andy Dalton didn't look great in his debut for Dallas, but first week being thrown in there, I think he'll be a little bit better this week. I do think Washington's going to come after him with the house. Dallas's offensive line has been struggling with health and just effectiveness, and Washington will be coming after him, I believe, and I think that's the right choice. Should be coming after him. Expect a handful of sacks in this game. You're playing Zeke. Unfortunately, the fumbles, yeah. What we're talking about is starts and sits, right? Are you sitting Zeke Elliott? No? Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. So I don't want to hear anything about the fumbles. It sucks, but you're playing Zeke, right? Tony Pollard, yeah, he got some work, but it was after Zeke fumbled. They were out of the game. Arizona was up pretty big, so I'm not worried about Tony Pollard eating into Zeke's work right now. Not worried about it. On the outside here, let's talk about the Cowboys' weapons and how I would rank them. I would rank Amari Cooper first, and someone that has to be in your lineup, I would rank CeeDee Lamb second as somebody that definitely should be in your lineup as a wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 upside. And then, Michael Gallup is certainly number 3 on that list, and then Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz is working his way out of my lineup right now. Through no fault of his own, just not going to be as much volume, not going to be as many opportunities, and he's just not, great. He's not going to make this a shit ton out of his opportunities. He's no George Kittle. So, that's how I'm going to rank them. I want to play Cooper. I want to play Lamb. Gallup and Schultz will be out of my lineups this week. All right, let's finish it off here. How are we doing with time? Man, we burned through it today. About 30 minutes. That's what I like. Seven matchups here, just about 30 minutes. Looking good, man. Am I talking fast as shit? You'll have to let me know. Maybe that's what it is. It's early. I don't drink coffee, so that's not it. I don't know. But, yeah, just let me know if I'm talking too fast. Could be the New York in me. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so the Washington football team at home against the Cowboys. Not playing Kyle Allen. He's still going to be too far down my list for streamers. The matchup doesn't get much better, and he's at home, and I'm still not playing him, so I can't imagine he's going to have a place in my lineup at all this year, but, things can always change. In the backfield, the guy to play is Antonio Gibson, and I do want to play him this week, honestly. I know J.D. McKissic is on the field a lot in the second half in passing downs. He's getting a lot of targets. I get all of that. They drafted Gibson. He's got the upside. He could be the future for the next few years. I think you're going to start seeing it skew further and further towards Gibson, and I'm calling it. This is going to be his first big game. I think he's going to be over 100 yards combined from scrimmage with a touchdown, and I think he's going to be pretty involved here. So get your Antonio Gibson out there. Also play your Terry McLaurin. Fact of the matter is, doesn't matter bad quarterback play, doesn't matter if the matchup's bad, if the cornerback is a badass he's playing against, McLaurin gets it done. He's open. He runs a lot of different routes. He's running deep routes, intermediate routes, short routes, crossing routes. Listen, he's all over the field, and they're targeting him a lot. And he's the only real weapon they have. Antonio Gandy-Golden just got hurt this last week. Steve Sims is on IR. They just don't have other weapons. So that's another reason why I expect Gibson to do well. I'd love to see them have McKissic in the backfield, or both Gibson and McKissic in the backfield, with one of them, running routes, moving into the slot, going in motion, things like that. We'll see if they maybe get a little bit of that going. Gibson, I think, was a receiver a little bit, maybe in college or high school. I don't know. We didn't see a lot of Gibson anyway. It's all, just futures, right? That's it. We're buying futures on Antonio Gibson right now. But yeah, so play Gibson, play McLaurin, sit everybody else. Logan Thomas is questionable with a neck injury. I get it. Like I said, tight ends. Tight ends are fugly right now. And I think I'm playing a guy that actually is playing Logan Thomas. He has Mark Andrews on bye. So, yeah, I'll take it. Because I need to fucking win in that league, man. It's my only 1-5 team, I think, ever. I don't think I've ever had a 1-5 team until now. It's fucking crazy, man. It's brutal. It doesn't feel good. Thankfully, my other teams are doing well, and that helps. That lightens the blow. But I got to look at this team every week. But, you're trying. I'm still working. I'm scratching. I'm digging. I'm clawing. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep playing that team. 8 teams make the playoffs, and I can still get to 500. I can be 6-6 going into week 13 and have my playoff spot ready to go. So that's the goal. I started 1-5. Now I'm going to go 5-1. Motherfuckers! So, all right, that's going to do it for the GOAT today on Thursday. Enjoy the game tonight. Have some fun. Remember, your Thursday guys, get them out of your flex. Go ahead and put them at whatever position that they are so that you have more flex ability with your lineup on Sunday. All right, that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks again. If you watch on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. If you're anywhere else listening to the podcast, to the smooth, sultry sounds of the GOAT, Jim Neander, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. We'll see you next time, which will be tomorrow for the second half of our preview show. Week 7, baby. Here we go. Rock on.